All right, folks, rice wine time. So rice wine is a different type of ferment. Actually, it's not your classic fruit and some yeast, some sugar, some water, and some thyme. It's actually a two-stage fermentation. It's a bacterial fermentation and a yeast fermentation. So I'm gonna add more rice leaven. This is the brand. And it comes with some yeast in here and some rice flour that's been impregnated with a certain type of bacteria, which I cannot think of the name of the bacteria at the moment. But you have to have a food source for the yeast to actually make alcohol. That food source is sugar. Well, starch is just a combination of sugars. So that's where you need the bacteria to break down the starch to give the yeast that food source. And there's water in the rice. So have you seen this one over here? It has, I'll show you everything that we put in it, but this is one that started a little earlier today. I'm gonna put it in the warm closet over there, and hopefully in a day or two we'll see some action, and then this will start to separate up. The rice will rise up. The fluid on the bottom will be your rice wine. This is a relatively quick or long ferment, depends on what you want. Most people tend to like this as a young ferment, a green wine as they call it. Within 2 to 3 weeks, a month, there should be a separation and a drinkable product at the bottom. So this is sweet, sticky rice. Very high starch, very sticky. So a lot of food source for the bacteria. And the process is really super simple. Spread. And the reason it's done this way is because that way it's kind of spread throughout. And then I'll add as I go in here. One of these packs will do up to 5 pounds of rice. I take that back. Yeah, not 5 pounds or 5 kilos. I think it's 5 pounds. This entire thing right here, hey, yeah, I'm making this, is 5 pounds of rice. This is 6 cups and this is 6 cups, and that's awesome. How about I do that? I'm just gonna throughout.
Do you use one whole packet in that?
I'm using a whole packet in each one of these. And just give it a better chance, quicker. And as I said, this stuff is super sticky. But if you're gonna make the mango sweet rice that they make in a lot of Thai restaurants, you're gonna use this rice, a coconut syrup, and mango, coconut vanilla syrup, which is pretty simple to make actually. Nope, not gonna make that one. Some of the recipes call for adding water, some don't. I'm gonna add a little bit of water just because I want to give a little more volume of water to this, so it'll be a little more chance for bacteria and the yeast to kick off well.
Where did you get your jars from?
Is it Northern Brewery?
Is it a special kind of jar?
Yeah, it's called a Little Big Mouth. It's a 1.4 gallon jar. That even with the big ass mouth, I still can't make it in it. Still making a mess. Because what are boys?
Noise with dirt.
Yep, pretty much.
I'm proud of you for trying not to make so much of a mess.
I know.
He's trying so hard. You'll have no idea.
As I seem to say in every video, don't judge me. Scientific. Like I said, I'm just gonna add a little bit of water.
Maybe a half a cup?
Half a cup, yeah. Yeah, a little bit. That's it. And of course, my hands are clean. I should have brought a paper towel over, but I didn't. Which, I cooked both these rice the same. The volume doesn't seem to be the same. I'm thinking this might have been 5 cups and that was 6 cups. Either way, it'll work. So, locked on, airlock with the bungs. And as you see how that works, basically when it starts to gas, the gases push up and out, and then bloop. So this will start creating CO2 here, hopefully in a day or two. This whole surface area in here, whole empty space in here, head space will fill up with CO2, eliminating the threat of molds, which is always kind of a threat when you're doing a fruit or grain or any kind of food source for it. But this will go into the fermentation closet and sit for a couple weeks, and of course I'll post some updates to see how it's coming along. But we should see a separation of the two, of the liquid and the solids, within hopefully about 3 or 4 days is what I'm shooting for. Hopefully I'll be able to see it. This is already starting to off-gas a little bit of CO2. When I left, this was down just a little bit more, so it's actually raised up a little bit, so it's lifting up the inner bubbler, so it's going to start producing, which is a good thing.
So when you cook this rice, how did you cook it?
Water. Literally just water, no salt, no butter, not like you're going to eat it.
Yeah, because folks, it was nasty.
It was not.
It didn't taste like anything I would
It
want to
didn't
eat.
taste like anything really.
Ugh.
It just tasted like
It needed
bland rice. I mean,
it
sticky
needed
bland
coconut
rice.
milk and a mango.
Which we have a mango there. I could have saved some back actually. So that's the rice wine experiment. We'll see what happens with it. I think this it was going to be this weekend, but plans changed a little bit. Had to take over for somebody this weekend, so hopefully next weekend I won't be on call, or sometime this week I'll end up doing the persimmon wine, and we'll get that started, because that's going to be probably a 4 to 6 week ferment, and then into a secondary, and then let that go ahead and age out, and call it secondary fermentation, but it's more of a conditioning. And then, of course, like any other wine, it goes into the malolactic acid fermentation aspect of things. And it just gets better with age. But we have, I think, 6-gallon bags pretty much full of persimmons, plus about 30 or 40, 50 gallons worth left on the tree right now. The thing is freaking loaded. So we're going to make some persimmon wine or some persimmon jam probably.
Cool.
So there you go, folks. Stay happy.
Stay happy.